Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. I am the man himself.
Hello all. How y'all doing on this Saturday afternoon? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are here live. Feels good to be saying that again. For my live review of this week's episode of AEW Dynamite, the March 8th, 2023 edition, and it took place in Sacramento, California. This was the Fallout show from AEW, the Fallout show from AEW Revolution. Drawing a blank there. It's Saturday afternoon. I shouldn't be drawing blanks. Should be well rested. It's the weekend. Got plans tonight. Yeah. Let me talk to you. Yeah. Yes, I attended SmackDown last night live, which I'll do that later on tonight. And I sat next to a bunch of people that all night, all you were saying was, let me talk to you. Yeah. Which is freaking awesome. But we're going to talk about Dynamite first, of course, today. And of course, as always, I say my intro. In order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. I was on the fence about a grade for this episode of Dynamite. I feel like I may have given it a little, like a slight bit too much credit. Because there was a few, still a few things that I liked, and then there were some things that I'm like I wasn't quite sure about. Particularly somewhat, the ending. Like, I'm not upset about who has the title, even though we've got to address, has the TNT title kind of gotten a little pointless? And also, I love Powerhouse Hobbs, but who he's now teaming with, I'm just like, I don't know about this. So there was a few of those things, but there's also a few things that I did like. So again, I still feel like I gave this one just a little bit too much credit, but again, maybe I'll change my mind afterwards. We'll see. We'll talk about it and roll with it. Check the live chat. We've got Tyler saying, what was the point of giving Wardlow the TNT title? Which again, yes, we'll kind of address that a little bit. I don't know if it's because, that they wanted to put it on Powerhouse Hobbs, and we are in his home state. Well, he's from San Francisco, but we were in Sacramento. So I'm not sure if this was rewarding him in his own state. And they were trying to have a baby face instead drop it to him instead of having Joe drop it to him. I don't know if that was the case. But yeah, I do start to feel like, that TNT title is starting to become a little bit pointless, especially since Orange Cassidy has had some really good matches with that AEW All Atlantic Championship. Of course, that is going to be changing. We'll talk about that in a second here. Tomorrow is Tyler's birthday as well. Well, other than the fact that it sucks you're going to lose an hour of sleep tonight, Tyler, hope you have a great birthday, buddy. Happy birthday, and as always, thank you for your support on the channel. Maybe Horseface will wish you a happy birthday, my friend. Just kidding, pal. He still thinks AEW is not worth live reviewing for now. Again, I'd rather do things live than pre-recorded so I can interact more with my audience if I have the time. But, again, I keep saying, I get it. The booking of AEW has been inconsistent for a while. It's had its good moments. It had some it's hitting on all cylinders, something that it's swinging and missing on. I don't know. as I always say, the only thing I ask always is, yes, there's stuff that's not going to work. Don't insult our intelligence. That's the only thing I ask for from wrestling content. Yes, it may get boring sometimes. Yes, it is repetitive. Yes, they have their hot streaks and their cold streaks. It's inconsistent. But the big thing I always ask for is just don't insult my intelligence. Like Vince McMahon did for how long? Wrestling News 365. I hope Powerhouse Hobbs gets along with the TNT title. Hopefully he have a good reign. Powerhouse Hobbs versus Keith Lee. Didn't they have a couple matches when Keith Lee first came in? I think that was the case. Keith is in the midst of a feud right now, though, with Swerve. But maybe eventually we'll see that, too. The TNT title is now the WCW title from 2000 and Fire Horseface. Like I said, we'll get to that because it does have to be addressed. The TNT title really has not had a good run since Cody left, to be honest. Since that ladder match that Cody and Sammy had, that was Sammy's last, that was Cody's last AEW match, right? I think it was that ladder match for the TNT title. Could have been it. I can't remember for sure. But we'll roll into it. But yeah, good stuff. Good comments in the live chat, guys. As always, thank you guys for that. Again, that's why I'm trying to make sure I go live as often as I can again, because I do miss these interactions, of course, as well. And we're going to roll in and talk about this show. So we opened up with a match for the AEW All-Atlantic Championship. Orange Cassidy versus Jay Lethal. The match was solid. I'm still not the hugest Jay Lethal fan. I think he does put up a solid performance. He's not someone I go out of my way for, but he's still pretty solid. Good fast-paced action. Orange Cassidy has had a good reign as champion, I would say, so far. Eventually, though, Orange Punch wins with the Orange Punch, and he retains the AEW All-Atlantic Championship. Afterwards, now, though, Jay Lethal, this is the part I didn't like. Jay Lethal takes that Paul Walter Hauser's Golden Globe, and he goes to attack Cassidy with it after the match. But then the referee tells him to knock it off, don't do this, tries to walk him up the aisle. As Orange Cassidy is distracted, who attacks him from behind? The man that I don't get why Tony Khan keeps giving this man a spotlight as big as he's giving him, Jeff Jarrett. Jeff freaking Jarrett. Okay, yes, we have Sting. Yes, he's an attraction. Yes, he's not, but he's not pushed in our faces like Jeff Jarrett is. Jeff Jarrett, it just, I don't see. I never really saw much of his material, at all. I just feel like I've been told he's very overrated, and I don't even quite, get it too good with him. But I don't get it. Why is Tony Khan so obsessed with Jeff Jarrett? He's not a draw. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I really don't get it. So I'm this is going to set up for a match between them down the road, right? Yep, we're going to get a match between them eventually. But there's a little bit of a twist behind that match. So, let me pull it up here. What's the information? Where is that at? Come on. I can't find the information, but basically, I'm trying to remember when it's going to be, but, here it is. Tony Khan, will be not Tony Khan. Orange Cassidy is going to be defending the All-Atlantic title next week against Jeff Jarrett. Now, and then also, in partnership with Warner Discovery and to promote the new Shazam movie, they're going to level up the All-Atlantic title and call it now the AEW International Championship. Which, I'm cool with that. Again, I know a lot of people were a fan of the name All-Atlantic Championship, but I like International better, myself, to be honest. So that's good. I like that. But again, why is freaking Jeff Jarrett getting another chance? He's been getting tag title opportunity the moment he walked in the door, team with Jay Lethal, and now he's getting an All-Atlantic title. Like, what has he done to earn any of this? As well, besides the fact that he's a Hall of Famer, which I don't get that either, and everything, whatnot. I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of his, so I just don't get why. Why are they giving Jeff Jarrett this big of a spotlight? I don't get it. I'm sorry. I just don't get it. So, we had that happen, and that was made official. Here's the thing. We're going to get into this. Well, I'll skip over this promo because it'll mix in with how it closes. We have Ricky Starks come out, who just finished his feud with Chris Jericho, and he says he's done it all, and people are asking him what's next, and he's not sure. But it's not what he's going to do, but where he's going to go next. So then we got a Bullet Club graphic appearing, and I thought maybe this was going to be Switchblade Jay White. Well, that's right. He's not under contract anymore with New Japan. He's a free agent now. Because rumors of him going to WWE, but I thought maybe AEW grabbed him. But instead, Juice Robinson attacks him from behind. So, does that mean Ricky Starks is going to New Japan? Or what does that mean? I was a little confused by that. See here. Let's see what we got here. We had interviews from Powerhouse Hobbs and Wardlow for their main event match, which again, we'll get into more of that story later. Then we have, one of my favorite parts of this show, maybe the best part of this show in my opinion, was this interview that Renee Paquette had with Ruby Soho. The question is, why Ruby? Why, Ruby, did you decide to join forces with Saraya and Toni Storm? And what on earth is going on? Well, Ruby Soho, which we always forget, is great on the microphone when they give her the opportunity to, cuts this absolute fantastic promo. I love this promo. And you could tell it felt very, realistic, surreal, like this you felt like Ruby Soho was like in her niche with this promo, and I really liked it. So Ruby says it's pretty obvious her first as to why she joined up with Tony and Saraya, and it's because we all created this. She references back a few times where she felt the fans turned on her. The first was her very first title match back at Arthur Ashe Stadium in 2021. She had faced Britt Baker, and when she lost, people cheered Britt Baker. Then fast forward to the semifinals of the Owen Hart tournament, she faced another homegrown talent in Chris Statlander. Remember what happened when she beat Chris? They booed her. They booed her out of the damn building. And of course, then she lost to Britt Baker again in the finals. And then we get to Revolution. And when Jamie Hayter pinned her in the middle of the ring, she realized that no one was ever going to come to her defense. No one was ever going to be mad when she lost, and no one in AEW would ever appreciate her. But she's not the only one. Toni Storm came here and was so unappreciated she got called interim as women's champion. It wasn't until after Jamie Hayter won the title when they finally decided, okay, we're not going to refer to you as interim women's champion. And then there's Saraya, who we begged to come out of retirement. And once they did, they gave her a bad rap. They've been outcasts since they came here to AEW. Which, all that is true. So, like me personally, it's like, why hate them for all this? It's very true. Like, none of that was their fault. I mean, I know it's from some fan backlash and whatnot on them, but once again, it's a story where it's like, I don't blame them for doing this. Which, thank God, I kept saying, this stuff with Saraya and Toni Storm, of course now with Ruby with them as well, you knew what they were doing. You just had to hear it from them still. And we finally got, the explanation right here, right now. As I keep saying too, it just feels like that they're trying to do is have Saraya do what she was supposed to do back when she was forming Absolution. That's what, to me, it makes me think like. Because, again, the same story goes. Paige started this whole movement in WWE with the women. If it was not for Paige, we may have not gotten a Charlotte Flair or a Becky Lynch or a Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné or a Britt Baker, a Jamie Hayter, a Willow Nightingale. Everybody else, of course, these homegrown talents. Of course, Chris Statlander, Thunder Rosa. Well, okay, I'm sure so many people didn't quite exist. What I mean to say is, in WWE, Paige was starting a movement, but she does not get the credit for it. That's why Absolution formed when Paige came back in 2017. And this whole thing about these, outcasts, trying to come in to help the division, when now I feel like they're not respected, so they're going to break the division. Again, basically, it's like they're just trying to take their spot where they feel they deserve. So that's why he's saying. But we finally got some explanation from Ruby Soho. She says, the broken foundation is the entitled shits in the back, the rookies that think they deserve the world, so she wants to bring out her entitled rookie opponent, Sky Blue. She has the match with Sky Blue, and she wins with Destination Unknown. Afterwards, Saraya and Toni come out with the spray paint to spray paint the big green L on her, which that's still tacky. I'm not really the biggest fan of the green L's that they spray on it. I feel like they got to do something a little different just to change it up and make something a little more, not so tacky. But anyways, as they're about to spray paint her, Willow Nightingale comes out. Instead of fighting with them, though, she goes up to Ruby. And her and Ruby recently were tag partners. And she's trying to talk. I like how they were trying to talk some sense. She was trying to talk some sense into Ruby. Like, it doesn't have to be like this. It's not just like, oh, you're a heel now, so I'm a face. I gotta beat the shit out of you. No, it's a little different because down the line, you never know. This could come back full circle, where Ruby could break the cracks eventually further down the line with this heel stable in this Outcasts and homegrown AEW feud that we're doing. That's, again, probably leading to Blood and Guts. But, of course, they didn't have that, and then Ruby took her out as well with no future, and then they sprayed it with the L's, and that's how that one ended. So again, like I said, finally we got, again, like I said, we knew what they were doing. They just needed to tell us it's what they're doing. And Ruby did that right there. So, awesome. And I got someone liking all my stuff on Instagram. Cool. I'll take that. And this person too. Alright, awesome. Cool. Got 200 followers on Instagram. Nice. But yes, I do like that we're finally digging a little more into the storyline, as I said, because for a while it's just like, okay, I get what you're doing, but it's like, hello, talk to us, what's going on? Saraya's coming out every weekend just flicking off the crowd, and I'm just like, okay, but why? Again, it's true, a lot of people have crapped on them, but again, in reality, look at it, again, they're still trying to, get heel heat off of some longtime AEW heels in Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. And I keep saying, I feel like even though, again, they're both awesome, I feel like Jamie's one that could easily get more babyface momentum quicker than Britt. Because again, Britt's awesome, but Britt just has too much of that bitch factor on her. She's great, And people do, love her, especially when she comes here to Pittsburgh. But she still, feels like she generates heat because of what her character is. But we'll see. We'll see who else joins the stable. I'm still predicting Athena and either Mandy Rose or Mercedes Moné. Mandy's no compete clause I heard expires this week. And like I said, I keep saying this, with Saraya doing this, with this kind of being like what she was doing with Absolution, it would be cool to see Mandy Rose a part of that, since that's what Mandy was originally intended to do with Absolution. So that's why I kind of hope they put her in this. And again, like I said, Athena would be great in this also. As for the homegrown, I don't think they'll have Sky Blue, but I think they will have one rookie. So have it be Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, Hikaru Shida, Willow Nightingale, and I want to say Thunder Rosa. Part of me also feels like that Chris Statlander needs to be involved in this too when she comes back from her injury. Because again, that's another person that Ruby was shooting on. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets involved with this. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Unless they do 6 people. Because again, the end game I still think is blood and guts. Or, it'll still be 5 on 5, but what if they did a stadium stampede or something like that with this? I don't know. Or an Anarchy Arena. Something, we'll see. We'll see. But that was one of my favorite parts of the show, is that promo by Ruby and everything. Anyways, though, so we get to an interview with Hangman Adam Page, being interviewed by Renee Paquette. Basically, he's all beaten up, but he said his soul and heart are doing just fine. He did what he had to do on Sunday, not because he wanted to, but because he had to. And he lets that be a warning to people that might want to try him, because he'll drag you through hell. And he apologized to Renee for what he did to her husband. But after Sunday, though, he's finished with Jon Moxley. But is Jon Moxley finished with him? And did that pull a trigger on Hangman Adam Page? We do have post-match promos shown from the main event. First, we have MJF, who talks about his victory, and he's going to celebrate being the most perfect wrestler in the world, and he's going to do it with a re-bar mitzvah next week. Of course, Bryan Danielson had some words to say later on in the show, which we'll get to that in a second. But then, before we get there, Tony Schiavone is then interviewing the returning FTR. Cash Wheeler wants to talk about how bad the last 2 months have been. They lost the Acclaimed, they lost to the Guns, they lost all their titles in roughly a month, and they lost one of their best friends in wrestling in the world, referring to Jay Briscoe. They knew they needed to step away and take a breather and recharge. But they can't sit at home anymore in a good conscience and watch the Guns call themselves the best tag team in wrestling. They're good, they're champs, and they're the future. But they're also spoiled, disrespectful assholes. Their father gave them every advantage, and his dad couldn't do that. But he taught him how to fight and to be respectful. And he's going to teach the Guns those lessons. Dax says he'd usually talk about his daughter, but he's going to talk about us, the fans. At the time when he thought he couldn't be loved or love pro wrestling, we showed him that he could. And damn it, he loves us too. In December, they closed the book on the greatest trilogy matches of their careers, again with the Briscoes, and they knew they had done something special. And the Guns took that feeling away. His last memory of one of his most special friends in the business was taken away, and now is the time for retribution. It'd be easy to beat their ass, but they have to hit them where it hurts, and they want to take away their tag titles. They have to do it for themselves, for the Briscoes, and for all of us. Nice mission statement there. Again, we're probably going to get in that match maybe before Double or Nothing, or they may wait to build it till Double or Nothing. We'll have to wait and see. We have like a little less than 2 months, because it's beginning of March, April, May. Actually, about a little under 3 months. Seems like I feel like it's closer than that, but probably about 2.5 months until Double or Nothing. We'll see if it gets there or they have it sooner, but that's probably the plan is for FTR to take the titles off of the Guns, as I keep saying. But great promo. Good to see him back. Jade Cargill was backstage, scoffed at the idea of a challenge, says she's run through everyone here in the United States. And seeing as we're going to Canada, she wants the best Canada has to offer. We'll see who does that next week and accepts Cargill's challenge for the AEW TBS title, which it's also another title that's gotten very pointless. I mean, Jade has, been defending it, of course, but it's just like, it feels like it's like the last thing on the list always to me. But, who knows? Who knows, though? Anyways, we then have, a 6-man tag match with Chris Jericho, Daniel Garcia, and Sammy Guevara of the JAS taking on AR Fox and Top Flight. Fun match, of course, as well from all these guys. Jericho, Appreciation Society, though, gets the victory as off distraction. Jake Hager with that stupid ass hat clocks one of the members of one of the Martin brothers with Floyd, Jericho's bat, and then Jericho hits the Judas effect on Darius to get the win. Afterwards, Angelo Parker and Matt Menard just hyped them up, say how it had been 1 year since the JAS formed, and then, they're all just like bragging about themselves. Sammy's saying how sexy, they're the sexiest group alive. Daniel Garcia says they should be number one contenders for the trios titles. And then Jericho basically endorses that and says that we're going to be coming for those titles. And then the lights go out. And we're thinking, House of Black accepting this challenge. But then instead we hear some, carry on my wayward sons. And, oh my smokes, I sounded horrible when I said that. Hold on. Let me rejuvenate here. There we go. Let's try this again. Carry on my wayward sons. A little better. Not as well as I wanted to, but a little bit better. But anyways, the lights go out and again, the Elite come out, make their entrance. Kenny says, for the last 3 years, Chris, you and I have stayed out of each other's lanes. And that came from mutual respect. But we didn't talk about the trio's titles, though. And then Don Callis says, no, stop. And then Don Callis says, the Elite established the trio's titles. And after Revolution, they should be the obvious number one contenders. And on a personal note, him and Jericho have been friends for 30 years, and he agrees with people that say Jericho is one of the greatest of all time. But unfortunately, he's only the second best wrestler from Winnipeg. Of course, referring to Kenny as the best. And he even feels like if he had a couple months to trade, Chris would be number 3. Really, Don Callis outdoing Chris Jericho. Jericho then challenges him to come down to a fight. And the Elite's about to. But then the lights go out. And the House of Black appear on the Tron, holding their new trios tag titles. Black says they all deserve to be humiliated from their hometown. So if they want these, and the lights come up, and the House of Black appear on the ramp and tells them to come get them. And it was then, and of course the lights go out, come back on, House of Black is gone, and we get told that next week, we are going to be getting a trios tag title, a triple threat match for the trios tag titles. House of Black, Elite, and then I'm assuming the same 3 members that fought this week for JAS, Jericho, Guevara, and Garcia. Oh boy, that's going to be awesome. That's going to be a hell of a tag match. I can't wait to see what happens with that. Make that the main event next week, as far as I think they should do. But yeah. So we got that. And then we got this promo from Bryan Danielson. A post-match promo. He talks about he wanted to teach his kids to fight for their dreams on Saturday. But unfortunately, MJF was right. This whole career he always thought fighting over was best. To fight and fight and fight and fight. And when he woke up from the LaBelle lock, his first instinct was to fight. But then he thought of something. He realized, though, at the time, he couldn't feel his arms. And his left leg had no strength. And MJF told him he was putting himself for his family. And he felt he was right. So he tapped out. And he says he thinks it's time to go home. What does that mean? Does that mean Bryan's leaving? Does that mean that's gonna be it for him? Like, what does this mean? So, excellent promo, of course. Very emotional, very heartfelt. Left us with a cliffhanger. Does that mean Bryan's done? I don't think he's done yet. I mean, I think he's almost done, but he's not quite done yet. But he's probably going to take a couple weeks off, maybe. And we'll have to see what happens if he comes back. I'm intrigued, though. Then we have the Alex Reynolds and John Silver of the Dark Order taking on Claudio Castagnoli and Jon Moxley from the Blackpool Combat Club. So the match was good. But then, of course, after the match, Moxley wins with that DR choke on Alex Reynolds. Afterwards, though, he puts the Bulldog choke and chokes Alex out until Evil Uno runs down to make the save. But then Wheeler Yuta comes out and starts brawling with them. And then Hangman, which I was confused about this, Hangman Adam Page came out. Now, the past 2 weeks, I thought they gave Hangman new music. Hangman came out to his old music. And then, but then the Blackpool Combat Club beat him down too. So this was definitely a full-on official heel turn for the Blackpool Combat Club. It's safe to say now that they're heels. But I guess it also states that Hangman Adam Page and Jon Moxley aren't done yet. I'm assuming it's just leading to some type of like a 6-man tag or something with them. Maybe. Who knows? And of course, getting back to the previous promo, still makes me wonder where does Bryan Danielson sit with the Blackpool Combat Club? You know? We'll have to see, but that turns official. We have some segment backstage where the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass are being interviewed, and then 2.0 roll up and just like basically try to pick a fight with them. And it's like, nah, leave us alone, basically. Yeah, who cares about who? That'd be a squash. I don't give a and it's why I'm still like I'm just being honest. I'm still not. I just don't. I'm kind of just like done with the JAS. I mean, okay, I do like Sammy Guevara still. I'm just mad. All Jake Hager's there to do is just advertise that stupid hat. Daniel Garcia, I've soured on. So it's really just the Inner Circle plus Ty Mello, Anna Jay, and 2.0 and Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia, I think needs to go back to when he was briefly a babyface and teaming and that whole are you a wrestler or a sports entertainer? I don't get why they had Garcia just turn on Bryan and just go back to the JAS. That did nothing for him. This thing with him, like signing with Bryan was helping him. Now it's like, I don't give a shit about him again. Sammy, I at least, yes, he's a heel, but I still, think he's credible. But again, it's just basically the Inner Circle plus a few new names. So, I don't know. I've not been as impressed with the JAS. Just getting it out there. And especially 2.0. They suck. They suck. They suck. And then the main event. So, the main event was a TNT title shot. Wardlow taking on the winner of last week's Face of the Revolution ladder match, Powerhouse Hobbs. Now, before this match, it was announced, I think a day or two beforehand, that somebody broke into Wardlow's car and stole all of his clothes, all his rain gear. It stole the TNT title. So at first we thought this was legitimate, because they had Wardlow show up. He borrowed a shirt off FTR, and he made this a Falls Count Anywhere match, and he basically wrestled in street clothes. Okay? But then, towards the end of the match, here comes QT Marshall, which rumors have it that him and the Factory have quietly disbanded. Did you care? I didn't give a single shit about the Factory. It was a jobber squad. QT Marshall is a jobber. I'm sorry. I was okay with him whenever him and Dustin Rhodes teamed up. But then the moment they randomly had that split up and he was a heel, it's like he's basically just a jobber. Like, he's nothing. But he came out and attacked Wardlow with a steel chair right when Wardlow was probably about just getting ready to win the match. And then him and Powerhouse Hobbs team up. They throw Wardlow off the stage into very obvious padding. Again, crash pads like big crashes like that, or when Jericho got pushed off of the top of the cell. AEW is horrible in hiding that there's crash pads underneath. That's a big knock on them, because that's the second or third time they've done that. And to a count of 10, Powerhouse Hobbs becomes champion. And, I like the idea of Powerhouse Hobbs becoming champ. He's a very underrated talent that has improved a lot. I can take him seriously as a champion. But why QT Marshall? What's he going to do? And then also, keep this in mind too. Now wondering if this whole thing with Wardlow's car getting, broken into was legit, or if it was a work. Because an hour or so before this match took place, QT Marshall quoted his tweet, and he said, "Gee, I wonder who it was who broke into his car." So was it QT Marshall? Because apparently, not long ago, I guess, didn't QT Marshall help Powerhouse Hobbs with Ricky Starks or something like that, and then Hobbs basically Marshall told Hobbs that I owe you one or something, and that's the rumor as to why this happened. I don't know about this. Okay, Hobbs being champ, I'm fine. QT Marshall being his sidekick, I'm like, what the hell? And then, we gotta address it very quickly here. As I said before in the beginning, and I agree with a lot of people, the TNT title has really become pointless. In the past year, we've had a hot potato between Sammy Guevara and Cody Rhodes, at least twice. We'll say twice on that one. We had 2 or 3 title changes between Sammy Guevara and Scorpio Sky. So that's 4 or 5 times. Then we had Wardlow hold it for 5 months. Then Samoa Joe, Darby Allin, Samoa Joe, Wardlow, and then 3 days later, Powerhouse Hobbs. That's like, what, 11 title changes in the last year for this? That is, and again, and then since last summer when they brought in the All-Atlantic title, now the international title, they've only had 2 champions. Pac and Orange Cassidy. And they both had solid runs. Here's where I start to agree with people who say that AEW has too many titles. Especially if you're not going to make them feel prestiged. I mean, thank goodness we laid off of having all the Ring of Honor titles on the show. Because again, like last fall, when Chris Jericho was the Ring of Honor World Champion, but that was headlining your show more than the AEW World title, and this is an AEW show, not a Ring of Honor show. I'm just like, I get at some point why there's all these titles. Like again, there's the trios titles probably to help out, the 6-man tag matches and the stables there. I get that. I mean, yes, there would have been some build for some of these pay-per-view matches, especially the House of Black and the Elite. Classic of a match. Just wish it had build to it. But again, like, how are you going to make people take these titles seriously if just like everybody's winning them? That's what's hurt the TNT title. Like Cody Rhodes, excellent TNT champ. The late Brody Lee, of course, was great with his time as well. Sammy even wasn't too bad until he started playing hot potato, and then of course he also started getting himself booed while TNT champ because him and Ty were just playing tonsil hockey every 2 seconds on the internet. And even Darby Allin's first reign as TNT champion was good. He didn't defend as much as Cody did, but it was still good. But yeah, some's got to give. I'm hoping Will Hobbs can bring some prestige to that TNT title and have a solid reign with it. Again, though, I just don't give a single shit about QT Marshall. So we'll see what happens. And that's my review of Dynamite. I gave the show a B. Like I said, I feel like that's a little high. I almost gave it a B minus. But again, there was still stuff that I did like. Like I like the setup for the Triple Threat Trios Tag Title match next week. I thought the match for the AEW All Atlantic title was solid, but I hated what they did with Jeff Jarrett. But I also like the idea of announcing it's a name being changed. Again, I'm not a fan of QT Marshall teamed up with Powerhouse Hobbs, but I do like that Powerhouse Hobbs won a title. And of course, my favorite part still was the stuff with the women, especially with Ruby Soho's promo. Again, give Ruby Soho a microphone and let her, just break out that microphone. Because we always know she's been good, but they just have not really, no one's ever really given her that shot to really show how good she can be. So like I said, there was still some stuff I enjoyed, some stuff I didn't, but I think for now I'll still stick with my B. I feel like the show would be. Oh yeah, and also don't forget, I love the post main event match promos between MJF and Bryan Danielson, especially Bryan's. Let me check the live chat quick before we go off the air here. Where were we at? I think we were right here. MJF versus Malachi Black is what needs to happen after Malachi Black is the one to take the title off of him. Won't be a bad idea. I mean, that's a good candidate. I still say Eddie Kingston or Adam Cole also could be good candidates. Also take the title off of him, but Malachi Black's not a bad idea. I thought Adam Cole was supposed to wrestle. He's wrestling March 29th. That's, I think, when that AEW All Access or whatever the heck that reality show is called, that was a wet fart of an announcement. That's when Adam Cole's making his in-ring return. Did Bryan Danielson retire on this episode? I don't think he did, but again, it's coming soon. Jeff Jarrett needs to stay away. Thank you! And Thomas, I still don't get why Jeff Jarrett is in AEW. This is not TNA in 2006 when he's world champion. I don't get it either. I think Andrade... I think you might say Andrade El Idolo needs to be in the world title picture. When he gets back, yes, he should. AEW will be good as long as Jeff Jarrett stays away from the world title. Don't even suggest that. Again, they've given him like all these other opportunities that I still, again, don't understand why. I would rather see at WrestleMania Brock Lesnar versus Karrion Kross than Brock versus Omos. Oh, definitely. Definitely rather see that match. Since MJF is saying that he is the best wrestler in AEW, I think him and Kenny should feud. At some point, yes. I keep wondering if that means that Punk is coming back. And, I mean, well, I also think that he should face Hangman. Because Hangman and Page beat Moxley in that Texas Death match. But it still feels like that even though he said he was done after what happened after that tag match, they may not be done. But I'd say his next opponent should either be Hangman. Kenny would be good too, but I don't think it's going to happen yet. But I think CM Punk may be the next one. Since he keeps saying best in the world, best in the world. We'll see, though. I do agree Bryan Danielson should go into the Hall of Fame. Tyler wants Jericho to leave AEW. I think John Morrison's wife needs to return to WWE. As long as Vince is not in charge, sure. Because we've got like almost nothing of her when she was here. That match should now lead to Malachi Black versus Chris Jericho at the next pay-per-view. Ooh. That'd be a good match. This should not lead to Hangman Page versus Claudio Castagnoli in a one-on-one match. Yeah, I don't... Hangman doesn't need to be jumping back and forth between AEW and Ring of Honor. Keep him in AEW. But I still think Hangman should maybe one of the next people also to face MJF. But we shall see. But that's going to do it, guys. I'm going to just take a breather for a bit. Relax. I'm spending some time with my groomsmen tonight. But I will later on review SmackDown. Maybe I will try to start the next Roller Coaster Tycoon Let's Play. But I do have a couple other videos I want to do. I am also been posting some shorts lately. Mostly like some stuff to advertise some things. I will be maybe making a few more commercials here and there. Well, definitely WrestleMania week. I want to make like a commercial for my WrestleMania documentary I made a couple years ago of my first WrestleMania experience. If you guys have not checked that out, make sure to check it out. The link is always down in the description for all my wrestling videos. And we're going to have a few other things too. But we'll see. We'll see what I get to post this weekend. But that's going to do it, guys. Thank you to Tyler and Wrestling News 365 for joining me live here. Again, I gave the show a B. What do you guys thought this episode of Dynamite? Again, we're now on the road to Double or Nothing, unless they do is Blood and Guts around Double or Nothing, or they never do Beach Break. They also do some other like special in between there. But the next pay-per-view is in fact Double or Nothing. It'll be the 4th installment of that, which nice. We're in the 4th cycle now, the 4th year of AEW pay-per-views. Well, 4th year of AEW altogether. Which is cool to see. So again, we will see, of course, what happens with all that, next several weeks and months. Give your thoughts down in the comment section below, guys. What grade would you give this show? Again, I gave the B. And always, be sure to slap a like on the video. Subscribe to The Man for more content on my channel. You may follow The Man also on social media. First, you've got the Twitter, The Club of the Man 93. You also got TikTok, where again I've posted some, commercials and advertisements as well, and some other shorts in there. You may follow me on TikTok at The Club of the Man 1993. And for some instant news, instant posts, instant gratification. Well, that's the right way to say. But just anything instant. Make sure to follow me on Instagram as well at The Club of the Man 1993. I did post some stuff in my stories last night on Instagram while I was at SmackDown. And, of course, I tagged a couple wrestlers in a few of them. And Rey Mysterio and Rhea Ripley viewed my story. And also, I posted a throwback story just earlier on Thursday about the time when I got those autographed photos from Deonna Purrazzo. And Deonna liked the photo. So, the man's been on a roll lately. So there's all that to come. So yeah, follow me on all of those social media platforms, please, guys. And of course, I'm going to start pitching this now. My goal for this year is to get the channel to 2,000 subscribers. I'm at 1,820, I believe. That's why I'm trying to do some different things too. Get a little bit different audience here as well. 2,000 subscribers. That's my goal for this year. Let's see if we can do it. We need just 180 more. Let's see. So guys, until then, I'm checking out. I'll catch you later. Again, follow on all platforms and hit subscribe. And I'll catch you guys all later. And as always, guys, in order to be the man, you've got to be the man. Well, be superior to be the man. You've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself.